Buying a car is one of the most common financial decisions people make, but it's also one of the easiest ways to lose thousands of dollars without even realizing it. And the reason isn't because people are careless. It's because the process is designed to confuse you. It's designed to shift your focus away from the real numbers and toward what feels manageable in the moment. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to buy a car the smart way, step by step, including what most people get wrong, what dealerships don't tell you, and how to protect yourself before you even walk in the door. The first thing you need to understand is this. A car does not cost what the sticker says. That number you see on the windshield is not the real price. That is just a starting point. The real cost of a car is what I call bumper-to-bumper cost. That means everything included. The price of the car, plus taxes, plus registration, plus dealership fees, plus interest if you're financing. And this is where most people make a huge mistake. They agree to a price in their head, and then when everything gets added on, the number jumps thousands of dollars higher. So, let's make this real. You see a car listed for $25,000. That sounds manageable. But then you add sales tax, which could be $2,000 or more, depending on your state. Then you add dealer fees, documentation fees, registration, and suddenly you're closer to $28,000 or $29,000. And if you finance that amount, now you're paying interest on top of that. So what felt like a $25,000 decision is now a $32,000 or a $35,000 decision over time. That's why you never think in terms of sticker price. You think in total cost. Always ask for the out-the-door price. That's the number that actually matters. Now, before you even start shopping, you need to understand what you can realistically afford. Not based on what a dealership tells you. Not based on what monthly payment sounds okay. But based on your actual financial situation. Because if your car payment, insurance, and gas are taking up too much of your income, you're putting yourself in a position where you have no flexibility. And this leads into one of the biggest traps in car buying, the monthly payment trap. Dealerships will almost always ask you, what monthly payment are you looking for? And it sounds like a helpful question, but it's actually a setup. Because once you give them that number, they can structure the deal to hit it. They can extend the loan, adjust the terms, and make a more expensive car seem affordable. But what you're really doing is paying more over time. So instead of thinking monthly, you need to think total cost. Because that's the only number that tells you the truth. Now let's talk about something critical that most people don't understand. Your credit. One of the biggest mistakes people make is letting the dealership run their credit as soon as they walk in. You should never do this. Because the moment they pull your credit, the dynamic changes. Now they know exactly what you qualify for. They know your interest range. They know how much you can afford. And that gives them leverage, not you. Instead, you should walk in already prepared. Go to your bank or credit union and get pre-approved for a loan before you ever step into a dealership. This does two things. First, it gives you a baseline interest rate, so you know what a fair deal looks like. Second, it keeps you in control of the process. Now, when the dealership offers financing, you can compare it instead of relying on it. And to be clear, dealership financing is not always bad. Sometimes they can offer competitive rates, especially if they have manufacturer incentives. But you should never depend on it. You should treat it as an option, not your only option. Because when you rely on the dealership for financing, you lose leverage. Now, let's talk about shopping, because this is where the process really starts. Most people shop emotionally. They look at cars they like, not cars that make sense. And that's normal. Cars are tied to identity. But if you shop emotionally, you're going to overpay. So you need to start with logic. What do you actually need? Reliability, fuel efficiency, space, low maintenance. Once you define that, you narrow your search. And this is where tools come in. You should be using platforms like Carfax to check vehicle history, especially for used cars. Carfax can show you accidents, service records, number of owners, and more. It's not perfect, but it gives you protection. You should also be using sites like Kelley Blue Book, Edmunds, and AutoTrader to compare pricing. Look at similar cars in your area. Understand what a fair price actually is. Because once you know the market, you can't be easily manipulated. Now, let's talk about negotiation, because this is where most people either freeze or get taken advantage of. The key to negotiation is simple. You need to be willing to walk away. If you're emotionally attached to the car, you've already lost leverage. When negotiating, focus on the total price of the car, not the monthly payment. Keep bringing the conversation back to the out-the-door number. If they try to shift the conversation, bring it back. Another powerful strategy is to negotiate before you even go in. Contact multiple dealerships. Get quotes. Let them compete. This removes pressure and gives you control. Now let's talk about fees and add-ons, because this is where a lot of extra money gets added without people realizing it. Dealerships make a lot of profit on add-ons, extended warranties, protection packages, gap insurance, and more. Some of these can be useful, but many are overpriced. You need to evaluate each one carefully. Don't just say yes because it's presented as a small increase in your monthly payment. That's how people end up paying thousands more than they planned. And one of the biggest tactics you need to watch for is urgency. This deal is only good today. Someone else is interested. That pressure is intentional. It's designed to get you to act without thinking. But the reality is, there will always be another car. Always. So never make a decision under pressure. Now, once you've bought the car, the process isn't over. Ownership matters. Maintenance matters. Planning matters. Because how you handle the car after you buy it determines whether it was a good decision or a bad one. Regular maintenance prevents bigger expenses. Taking care of the car protects its value. And keeping the car longer spreads out the cost over time. Because at the end of the day, buying a car the smart way is not just about getting a good deal. It's about making a decision that supports your financial life. So if I had to summarize this entire process, it would look like this. Understand the real cost, not just the sticker price. Never focus on monthly payments. Protect your credit and secure financing ahead of time. Use tools like Carfax and pricing platforms to research. Negotiate with confidence and be willing to walk away. Watch out for fees and add-ons and think long-term. Because when you do that, you're not just buying a car. You're making a smart financial decision. And that's the difference. Thanks for watching. If this helped you, like and subscribe to the Daily Yield. Because we're building real financial progress, one step at a time.